Gregorian chants.
Call me Mr. Ori, please.
Okay. Anyway, hi friends.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How we doing?
The horse persists, but so do we.
Nailing it. All right. Well, since Andrew's a butt, he's gonna lose something in the travels. I haven't decided what yet, but we'll figure out what's important to him.
Maybe a limb.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get my point back in my strength?
No, we said last time that we were going to carry that through, since
Okay.
strength didn't come up last time.
Okay, copy. I was like, please don't say long rest because I will be down a strength point for the next 3 in time months.
Uh-huh. No, just until I feel like you've been punished enough for being
Until
late.
I fail a check because of it.
Honestly, that's all I'm waiting for. But yeah, I'll figure out what's important to Andrew other than his character, and we'll go from there.
He does have a child on the way, but if I feel like you shouldn't interfere with that.
I think you should exercise your
He's
your
already
rights
got
as a
one.
DM. Your rights as a
So,
DM
like-
supersede his rights as a parent.
Does he need a second?
Swap. Well, listen. You have to do something with the kid. I'm just saying, swap it with a fairy. No one's done that in a while.
It's a tale as old as time, and frankly, you know what? We could use more of it. Though it sounds like these children are already upsetting, so you never know.
Yeah, swap it out to a fairy who is less upsetting.
Colin
That
alone,
would be a
I think
kindness.
he'd be glad for a few weeks off.
Oh, shout out to Colin's very first baby photo with the middle finger up.
Oh yeah.
Anywho,
Incredible. We're gonna let that one just slide right on by, but
yeah, we'll show you that later. But for now, who would like to do our recap?
I can take this one. I might be missing some things though.
Okay, go for
we're here to
it.
assist.
All right. Craig's all good.
Craig Stuffer is good.
Entering a dense, fibrous room with Jebka, we saw a population of citizens and festival goers. After the tragedy of yesterday's welcome, some in their bodies and others in a state of transformation. As we entered further into the room, we were met with the torn were-rat with black fiber escaping from where the limbs were missing. Learning that he's the only one remaining that has not yet passed, even after testing had been done, Duncan placed his sigil on their forehead. With an intense burn, the paladin released, leaving a brand. With a few quick breaths, the were-rat was returned back to his normal state. Jebka noticed that there had been some changes in Duncan's sigil. She recommends checking in with Might Mouth and Kahlo, someone that might have further insight into our new attunements. Learning that the were-rat is one of the items meant to be taken to Kahlo, the group thinks about the best option as they separate for a bit, wanting to not infect the Kahlo locals with his fiber. With an important and maybe a little too early message for the Alreth children, Thane paints a deep yet hopeful picture of loss. Duncan, trying to brighten the scene up a bit for the kids before leaving, saw Thane in a new image, pale, scarred with inky hair, before reverting back to the form we have known. Using a majority of I pronouns, they asked Duncan to teach them, learning on being not only a leader, but someone in general to look up to. In the meantime, Navos saw 2 of the druids, afraid of meeting back up with them, and asked to help Brun with helping find Mahir. Seeing that they were the closest to family that Navos has had in a while, they encouraged to meet back up again. Apologizing for what happened in their last interaction, he agrees to plant the Death Bloom in honor of Yurgison. Sitting down together, Navos insists on helping Brun find Mahir to fix what they have lost in someone known as El. With a deep community and many roads tying to it, Brun agreed to do the same for El. With a surprising empty head, Navos introduced himself as Valen. Meeting back up, the group agrees to chop off the were-rat's head and pack it in a container that will not leak the fiber. Meeting the Wood Elf messenger, Farney Twistwind, we explained our ideas to them as we make our way back to Bishop Maylor. Getting the rights to meet with the Archbishop and one to meet with the research group, we explain how the samples need to be packed, as well as being warned about the dangers of magic we use in Kahlo. With further instruction to not return to Aldreth for some time, we begin to head out of the war room and back to the body of the were-rat, as Brun tells the bishop to be careful as they slide a secret note. Anything else to add?
We got a level up to the end.
And a
Believe.
level up. Good point.
You did begin
Plus
your
one
level
level.
up. +1 level. Incredible. Derek, what kind of inspiration points do you have right now?
I have none.
None. Well, give yourself an inspiration. Just a standard one. We'll start there, because that'll carry for a while.
I'll take that. In the future, can I just take more things away from Andrew instead?
I'll consider it, and probably allow it, to be fair.
Great.
I love how
Thane has
antagonistic
no
we are.
pants for the rest of the campaign. Every single fan image is shot above the waist.
The best part is they don't even know. They think they have pants, but they don't.
Oh no, the emperor has no clothes.
Truly. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to update some things for Andrew because he only sent them to me last minute.
Yeah, I was about to say about probably 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Wait.
actually. Just about.
He had mentioned, because we also had that Duncan and Thane talk in last week's session, and he was like, "Oh, outside the game, I'm going to contact you, and we'll talk about it." He contacted me about an hour or so ago about what he wanted to do with Thane and Duncan's training arc.
Incredible.
Man, he was all excited about the travel arc, and he's not going to even be here for it. What
I know.
a fake fan.
We've been building up for this for 10 sessions, 10 episodes.
Road trip. The whole campaign is just the road trip portion.
You joke, however.
It took us 10 sessions to get out of the town.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
I'm genuinely not upset by that.
Fantastic. So I would like for all of you to know that the headline or the header of my notes for tonight's session is just, "Can we leave now?" with multiple question marks.
I also
Because
did
I've
my
been saying we're
chapters,
leaving
too.
for the past 3. So you all have started your way back toward the Rat Man, knowing now where it is. You've gotten in contact with Bishop Malor. The plan has been kind of solidified to have the samples sealed away in lead-lined boxes. And surprisingly, just as you arrive, the requested materials have been brought in already. Very quick turnaround, very surprisingly quick turnaround. As you all enter into this kind of side room, side building rather, where the worst cases have been put, you notice that several of the previously identified bodies that were pouring more of the black fiber than others have in fact been moved. The people in here still don't look good, but over the past about half hour-ish, efforts have already been made to isolate the more problematic. So, Thane, you see their face kind of shifting as you're walking along, heading toward the Rat Man, and you notice there's a couple of gags barely being held back. It seems the smell is hitting them pretty hard. This attempt at entering this room, and they start to speak and just fully gag. The air enters the mouth and they gag and go, we thought we could do it. We'll be back. And then just kind of books it out back into the hallway with a hurried, I'm going to go see Brell. So you have a general idea of where you can find them later, but it seems that round 2 with this room, after Jepka had mildly cooked several of the corpses that were in here, it's rank. And you all have uncovered faces, so that's fun.
Well,
The
I have a
boxes...
mustache.
You do. It does not, however, filter air for your schnoz, unfortunately.
It's a very thick mustache.
You know,
This
you got me
is
there.
my HEPA grade mustache.
OSHA's very proud of you. So, you've got your materials. The Ratman is as you left him, covered up, but still disgusting to behold.
Anybody got a knife? I wanted Thane's. We were going to use Thane's sword, but they didn't leave it when they left.
Yeah, it's surprising that they were the one that recommended this, but I mean, I have a dagger. Probably a
And-
doll.
And Duncan will pull out his full regalia sword. And he'll do a swift chop.
The blade
shit.
comes down. Oh,
It was just if Brunson's like, oh damn, all right, we're going.
Yeah. Why waste
no
time?
hesitation.
Listen, we got places to be.
Yeah,
Truly.
we got to leave town apparently.
The blade comes down, and Duncan, how much combat did you see in your previous life?
I would say quite a bit. Not like a full career's worth of combat, but certainly like fresh out of training. I was probably combat for a good year or so before I lost my hand. So enough that I saw some battles. It weren't anything like, full-scale army battles, or it's more minor skirmishes and things like that.
Do you think this is something you've done before?
Cut
Beheaded
off a
someone?
rare red's head? Beheaded someone, no.
It's almost surprising how easily your blade cuts through, especially considering there's still spine in there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure if you somehow slipped between the vertebrae or what, but there's basically no resistance as you cut through and lop off this head. The tension that had been holding it in place, gone. The head tumbles backwards a little. And you all can see that there's really no blood pumping anymore. You know that the organs were running, we'll say, but there's really no... This is not normal. There's no moisture really left on the inside here. As the head separates, more of those black fibers spew forth from kind of the esophagus where it has been split open. A little bit of fluid is leaking from the spinal cord, but not nearly as much as it should.
Are the fibers coming from the head or the torso?
Both.
Is the torso still breathing?
You want to make a medicine check?
I will certainly try.
While he's doing that, I think Duncan's gonna find like a somewhat clean piece of cloth on the rat man's body, if there's any left, to wipe his sword off.
You could wipe it on the towel or rag that's been used to cover him.
Kind of put it back in the scabbard.
That's a 17 on the medicine check.
Hey,
Nice.
that's as good as I am.
You get closer and check for signs of life. And as you kind of listen for air wheezing through. You hear it.
In the torso.
From the torso.
Is the head... So, like, reach over, like, pick up the head by the hair. Is the head still in the same condition that it was?
It's basically in the same condition. As you pull it up by the hair, this is a very specific example that I don't need any questions about. The hair releases with no effort. It just kind of slides from the scalp as you try and lift its weight. And the head thunks
Unfortunately, I
back
feel like I
down.
have questions.
No questions at this time, thank you.
Okay. So just send them an email.
That one's for HR.
Just Duncan with his stump writing an email.
Can Brun pick up the head and put the severed stump on his
You sure can.
I'd love to just take the stump and like see if I can cauterize it, like just see what happens.
Okay. You kind of take it like Alas Poor Yorick and apply the stump to your arm. It is disgusting, first of all. You're kind of going for like the neck region to try and seal it off.
Yeah. Because considering what we saw Duncan's stump do to this thing, it burned, it left this burn on it. Basic, like, injury cauterization. Let's see what happens, see if we can prevent more of this gack from pouring out.
Mm-hmm. And you see that flash. Same as you saw when Duncan tried touching the head the first time, just like when Pyvel exploded. That radiant flash, blinding light, bursts out from your sigil. And you quickly realize why Duncan pulled his stump back so rapidly. It burns, not just the rat man's head, but your flesh sizzles beneath the sigil. You are going to take 3 points of damage.
Okay.
Do you keep holding it?
Does the head do anything?
You see the muscles tense, just like they had before. The jaw snaps open and then crushes shut. You can hear teeth splinter on themselves with the force of this bite. And the face kind of spasms a little bit as the different muscles activate in rapid succession. It stinks. It hurts. It is disgusting.
Does the torso breathe any heavier? Or is it
No.
still the same? Okay.
That hasn't changed.
So did the torso react at all in any way? Like, did it
No.
phantom sense its pain? Okay.
It does not seem to be reacting.
Pull the head away with that smell of like singed mange and meat, but sort of looking at the bottom. Is it still spewing fibers?
You pull the head away from your arm, and your flesh and its had kind of melted together a little bit, so there's a little bit of an uncomfortable
It's a cheese pull,
sucking
yeah.
sound.
Yeah, there's a cheese pull.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Derek.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we uncomfortable?
No, you're good. You're good.
Is it
Duncan
like
once again has more
mozzarella or
questions.
Munster?
Oh,
Mozzarella. This is a mozzarella cheese pull. This is
Incredible.
welcome. Thank you for ordering a large one-topping pizza from Papa John's.
yeah. Stinking like a gorgonzola.
Yeah, it's got like
A little juicy. Anyway, Andrew's going to be so sad that I missed this. So you pull it away, and there's this uncomfortable sensation as your flesh separates a little bit. Looking at the stump, you don't see any black fibers spewing from where they had been, kind of in the esophagus region there. You do still see a little coming from like the back of the head, the scalp, the nose a little bit. But it's not... The amount has reduced quite a lot. The torso, still going. Every breath now you realize it is pushing more of the fibers out, particularly from
room,
the esophagus.
Is there a torch that I can grab? Duncan wants to try something. Seems like cauterizing works.
Just looking around, you don't see anything like that. There are small lamps, but it'd be really awkward to try and finagle those without dumping oil literally everywhere inside this building.
I have a question about my Eldritch Blast. When I would hit, what did the effect look like? Was it like an open wound, or did the skin kind of graft over?
So when you had previously cast your Eldritch Blast, like on the giant spider, for instance, it was like somebody put a transparency layer or a mask over a section of it, and there was a gap where there just wasn't the thing that you had hit, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
It was still able to walk on the leg that was damaged, but you could see through parts of the leg. Not like they were themselves transparent, but like those parts were just not there, fully erased.
Okay. If we can't burn it, I could try blasting it for a second, see if that might shield it. I don't want to.
You can try that. I think I'm just gonna go to the room, keep looking around for a torch.
Okay.
I think we could try to burn it first, so we don't, because I can see what it looks like on his shoulder. I don't want that, and especially none on my stump. So I think Duncan's gonna leave this room, heading back into the main chapel, looking for a torch or something easier to burn. To try to cauterize, like a blacksmith. I guess they probably wouldn't have anything here.
There are a couple of people that you ask around to, and somebody tells you like there's a supply closet that way. You can pretty easily find a torch in the supply closet. You'll have to light it yourself.
I would like to politely request that all of them are kept in a wooden or like in a steel yellow cabinet that is marked flammables. Please and thank you. for our dark fantasy OSHA people.
Yeah, and there's like this little plastic, some sort of clamp that goes on it. As soon as it's broken, you know that it's broken, so something has been taken out of it.
Yeah,
so it can be replaced.
There's a lockout tag out. Like there's a sign out sheet.
There's a glass vial that when you crack it, the liquid inside changes to red. There's no going back from that. No. You are able to find some unlit torches and collect one for your purposes.
I will.
For those of you who are still in the room, and Duncan, as you were leaving, some of the people who were trying to help some of these worst cases, you noticed them taking a look at what you were doing and very quickly looking away and pretending they saw nothing. It seems that they are under the impression that what is happening is none of their business. What were you saying, Curtis?
I was going to say, well, like, as Duncan leaves, Brun kind of is just like, okay. But if it doesn't work, I'm more than willing to just burn it again. Here, Navos, help me with the box. put the head, like putting the head in the box, patting it so it doesn't move. I also want to we put it in, we kind of cover it, and like we covered most of the face, and like Navos and I are kind of looking at it, and Brett's just like, I feel like it's missing something.
Sunglasses.
What were you gonna say?
Weekend at Barney's.
What were you gonna say, Derek?
It just feels empty. It's just, I agree.
Walks over, just pulls a strip of the rag that was covering it, wads it up, and just shoves it in his mouth. Just like
a stuck pig.
That's better. Now, if it decides to start talking, no one will hear it, and then just conk, slam the lid shut and lock it.
Hey guys, it's dark in here.
Good.
Pushing the lid shut on the box, you feel a little bit of a suction almost as you push it down. There's a little air that escapes, pushes out, and kind of lifting back on that lid a little bit, you realize it has sealed itself in place. You're not sure what has caused this, if it's mechanical, if it's magical, you're not really sure, but it does seem like it has sealed.
Did they get it in the shape of a money box like Brun had asked?
The safe that you find in a hotel room, that little like under the bed type safe, that's about the size and shape of it.
But like if people look at it, they're gonna assume there's money in there. Is kind of that was the goal for the cover.
How sorely disappointed they will be.
Yeah. Oh man, there's a severed head.
Full of
I almost want to leave it out. It's a big prank.
It's just a prank, guys.
Hey guys, look! I found a torch.
Brun kind of like as you come in. Brun is like kind of like shaking the box, like holding up the box like a kid at Christmas, just shaking it, listening for any rattling or any weird noises.
Could it be?
You hear as you're shaking it fairly aggressively, a couple of slightly wet thunks, a little bit hollow sounding on different sides of the box, but generally it's taking a lot of effort to really.
Brun is shaking the box.
Around.
It is.
What's in your box?
But yeah, Brun is like, all right, cool. Sets it down as you come back. Duncan, with your
walking up to one of the lanterns, I'll take like the glass cover off, stick my torch in until it lights, walk over to the body and kind of just shove it in there, into its kind of gaping neck hole.
You
what they called me in high school.
Insert the flaming torch into the gaping neck hole, and the smell of first cooking and then burning flesh assaults you over top of the already vile smells in the room. The hair catches a little bit, adding an acridity that singes, it kind of burns at the back of your throat. It is not a pleasant task. How long are you going to keep that there?
Probably a good 30 seconds just to make sure it seals. The entire time making references to how this smells better than war rations do.
Several of the attendants in this room are leaving at this point. They are stepping out of the room because this is horrible what you're doing. You apply the torch and it keeps kind of eating into the torso a little bit more. So over the course of about 30 seconds, your torch is almost snuffed out because it's basically in there just that much. Taking the torch away, and I don't know if you snuff it or not, that's up to you. You take a look at the stump where the neck was. Though the flesh has been sealed over,
Or the fiber's
You
still
see
spewing
it.
out of it?
Not at the same rate because the opening is smaller at this point, but it is still breathing and pushing against the esophagus that's now sealed over a little bit. There are other exits to the body where air is now escaping. The easiest route has been mostly sealed, but it's still going.
Someone tells me we gotta burn the whole rest of it. A big bonfire.
Or what if we all touch it? And whatever this is works. Better than fire, better than anything. What if we go till it stops moving?
It seems the quickest. Just worried about what these changes are that Jipka warned us about, but
My only issue is I don't know where this magic derives from. This is some sort of divine something that it's not of my god, and I can't trust it.
You all recall that Bishop Malor had mentioned if you need anything, you can ask. So if you wanted a pyre for this thing, one would be made, etc.
To burn it might send these
flesh-
fibers everywhere.
The flesh that you burnt did burn. The fat melted. All of it acted and burned as it should. But you don't know what that effect will have, or what effect that will have, rather, on the production of these fibers.
I wonder if these fibers are coming from a particular source. Are they derived from the heart, from the liver?
Is that a rhetorical
From the lungs.
question, or are we going to find out?
I didn't bring my surgery set, but
They don't make gloves in my sides, but we can
I don't
start
know.
looking. Put whatever, if we find the source, we can put it in the jar.
it's also true.
Around this time, Thane re-enters the room, their face now covered with a very thick piece of rag, and in their hands they have some of the paper from it's about the same size as what was in Bishop Malor's notebook. And they've got a little writing implement, and they come back over, gag a little bit. We thought it might be best to take notes on what we find here. Tell me what to write, and I'll make sure it's recorded.
Well, we might be doing an autopsy here.
You've never seen them, like, change their skin to a green tone. But you start getting a little bit of that vibe as, like, the undertone of the skin as they get kind of pale and...
Come on, Thane, it'll be fun. You look like so
The
many
eyes that
people
will
on the
be-
outside. Think
That's
about
on
how
the-
they all look
that's on the
different on the
outside.
inside.
Inside, yeah.
I don't want to think about my organs that much. Just go do your thing.
Do your thing.
Any last refusals before we
Dig in.
taking that as an
Alright.
instruction? The Brun like puts his hand on the heaving chest, and where all of the innards are kind of hanging, just like reaches in and just grabs a fistful
God.
and just starts pulling on like feet. It's just like starts gutting this thing like a shrimp in a shell and just pulling out the lobster tail.
Very different ideas of what to do. I was going to open it up.
He's already open.
In a more delicate fashion. I don't know how well these notes are going to be now.
We'll find if something in here, as he's like,
That's a lot of
rummaging,
intestine.
if anything
lot of
in
intestine.
here is making those damned fibers, it'll be making those fibers even more when it's not attached to anything.
Can Duncan make a medical check to see if he can recognize any of these organs after Brun has kind of violently ripped them out of this man's body?
Absolutely, you can. Brun, could you make for me a taking like sleight of hand, a
Can I do-
dexterity?
Pocket it in the intestines.
I was thinking medicine to like
Is a 15 plus 4 is a 19.
because Brun has a brutalist understanding of the human anatomy. Kind of just, I know where the heart and lungs are because when I break your ribs, that's where they go into. To be vague, to be like he's rummaging around, but he wants it to be intact. Can I also make a medicine check in?
Make me a medicine check with your strength modifier.
I almost want this to be
beautiful.
a survival check, because you've ever seen like somebody like got a rabbit really quick, like
Yeah.
they took the skin off? Essentially the same thing. Is you're
Yeah,
running them
yeah.
inside and out.
Yeah, I'm degloving him from the inside.
Exactly.
Boy, Andrew missed a fun fucking episode. It's like if you have a rabbit, like the easiest way to deskin a rabbit is like whip it between your legs and
Mm-hmm.
with my strength modifier,
Mhm.
dirty 20.
Nevos, Brun is disturbingly good at what he's currently doing. There is a practiced ease happening here that you're not quite sure about.
Well, I would almost imagine it's like the fur on the were-rat's head where it just kind of came off. It was barely attached anymore. Maybe these organs weren't attached as much as anymore. It's kind of
Rib snaps as I'm pulling like the intercostal muscle. He's like, oh, this rib. And then it starts pulling the next piece out.
All right, Thane, first note. Here's a recipe. Do what he's doing. You pull the gizzards out. Let me get an onion and some lemon. We're going to need that pyre.
Yep. You want me to go ask someone to start building a pyre? Or
Let's see what we can find first.
you're you're right.
So Duncan also make that check to kind of see if there's any organs that are recognizable. It seems like there might be.
Yeah, Duncan, as Brun is pulling these pieces out, you said you got a 19.
Yep, a 15 plus 4.
You make the mental checklist of the different parts, mentioning to Thane as different pieces are removed. Like, that's that, that's what this is. That one's a little weird looking. Let's make a note of that. You clear out this chest cavity and you get to the lungs and the heart. And the surface muscle of these organs is still doing its thing. While you're holding it.
Do they visually appear to be, besides being destroyed, to be abnormal in any way? Is there any like necrotic veins on them? Do they? I mean, I'm assuming they're spewing these fibers out still, but
They
Brun will like
are.
pull it, like pop the heart off the aorta, like an apple, like a 5-pound apple, just like pulled it out.
when you do that, there's a little bit of that fiber. There's more congealed blood, kind of a jello consistency at this point. It is acting like this blood has congealed over the course of several days, and not like this man died a couple hours ago. Right?
Mhm.
So it is pumping mostly in the right rhythm. You can see where it had been stabbed through earlier from when Jeff had shown you the knife incision. You hold it, you watch, and you realize that the pace is getting a little bit slower. A little bit slower. And over the course of about 5, 10, 15 minutes, it fully stops. There are black veins kind of crossing over the surface of it. When you had seen Pival, you had noticed kind of a pulsation of veins of black beneath his skin. You see something similar across the surface of this heart. But eventually it does run out. The lungs, on the other hand, similar thing. Are you fully detaching them? Or what's your plan with that?
Yeah, I would like to have those attached.
You want those attached to the rest of him?
Oh, detached. No, I want them detached.
Do you want
Yes.
Do you want the windpipe too?
We probably don't need that. That most definitely can stay in there. That's okay.
Great. And Brett will just reach up between the heart or between the lungs, just grab that brachia, and there's just it's a twist to just kind of work it free, and then sorry,
the wet sucking sound as you remove.
Yeah, that's a
lungs.
way better descriptor.
The air is pushed from them. Similar to heart, where they keep pumping and then they start slowing down. And over the course of 5, 10, 15 minutes, they too stop. With all of the pieces that you've removed, you've seen some kind of trace of these black veins kind of under the surface of the tissue. It's heavily concentrated around the heart, around the lungs, and throughout the cavity, the chest cavity. If you take a peek up in there.
Is there...
Yeah.
I was going to say, I want to take a look inside the cavity for a mark, a sigil, because we pulled out the heart and lungs and they took time to slow down. Was there were either of them spewing those fibers in that same, to the volume that we were seeing from the body itself?
Mm-hmm.
More
or is it sort of a collective?
Lungs.
Okay.
Less from the heart. With all of these pieces kind of laid out before you, you observe for a little bit of time and realize that they are all still, I'll say, decaying, where these little gentle fibers lift off from the tissue. So it is still shedding, just not nearly the amounts that you'd seen earlier. Watching those and looking back to the emptied cavity, you realize that there are still there's still a large volume of fibers coming out the bottom end of this cavity now. It's just kind of seeping out.
No sigils or anything on the inside.
It's really hard to tell. And if you stuck a torch in there, you're going to start burning stuff.
Be like, Duncan, can I borrow that torch?
And I'm going to hand it over with 2 fingers.
It's
you realize that there is still a lot pouring from now the bottom of the esophagus, where the lungs had been detached. Hey, Davos. Can you make me some kind of smarts roll?
Sure.
Feels like
Some
an
kind of
arcana.
brain,
It's the
something.
thyroid.
Something for your memory, perhaps. Something for intelligence, or I'm really not sure what to roll here.
Yeah. What is Navocene?
Hasn't he seen?
Yeah, good point. History. That's a dirty 20.
All right.
16 plus 4.
Sorry. You think through your interactions with this rat man. Were you the one who saw you had inspected after the rat man had been force-fed his own amulet by the giant rat?
Yeah.
When you were looking around in there, you saw some kind of residue in the throat.
Yeah. Couldn't tell if it was metal or what it could be.
Right. When you look now, with all of the extraneous stuff out of the way, you see a small glint from the top of the throat. Just a small, almost bluish tint to it.
Before I entered the tavern, I saw him eat this, well, chew on the amulet. I thought I saw something in it, but I don't know if anyone could reach in. I see something.
Yeah, if anyone could do that.
Just
Yeah.
runs like, here, like holds the torch in his gore-soaked arm, like
Yeah, I'm
over
just-
to Navos. Here, take this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just side-eyeing you the whole time. Like,
He's like
please.
goes up like runs just like I'm already kicked my elbows in this guy, and just like run the fingers up and like feeling around kind of where Navos was talking about it. Can I like feeling for anything metallic or anything unusual?
There's a sort of a sharp little shard of something
oh
that
good.
you can remove.
What's that? Bloodborne pathogen in an open wound?
What is this? The prize
I
at the
would-
bottom of the Cracker Jack box?
Yeah. Oh man, I
Thane is
opened it upside
Buried
down.
deep in the notes right now.
Cracker Jacks really have gone downhill.
So
I didn't know his name was Jack.
your thumb kind of catches a
Did
little
you even
bit
ask him?
on this point, the tip of whatever this is, and you can manipulate your hand enough. Your hand is way too large to be inside an esophagus. Just putting that out there. So like things
It's
are
like the tip of the finger, just kind of worming my way up in there.
Listen, your fingers
Yeah,
can do a lot of things, and esophagus is not one of them.
anyway. You might need Vox for that. No. You pull out this small. It's a shard of something. It's almost gem-like, kind of. And there's so much meat and tissue stuck to it. When you remove it, like it was dug in there, right? It had worked its way into kind of the wall of the esophagus and lodged itself there. And all of the tissue surrounding it is shedding, just pouring off these fibers. And you don't have a lot of tissue on it, but over a couple of moments, the tissue that's there dissolves away, basically. All of it has become this black fiber. And in your hand is a small shard. Something kind of faintly metallic, a little bit blue. Just sitting there. And your sigil is very warm. It's not burning quite as much. You got a couple little singes as you were digging around in there. Not enough to actually give you any points of damage. But with this thing in your hand, your sigil is flashing a little bit, kind of pulsing.
Could somebody get me a jar?
I'll drop
I'll look
that.
for a
Same.
door.
All three
What?
of us look for one.
Together.
There's one conveniently nearby, down where you'd seen Jepka pull a sample jar from. You had been supplied with a few extras, so
Yeah, we'll carefully place that in the jar and seal it. And then hit.
So Duncan also went to go look for a jar, realizing that Navos also got a jar for Brun, and not wanting to look stupid like he also got a jar, he'll open it up and collect the heart sample into that jar. Like, oh yeah, this is...
Yeah, I meant to do that.
Jar.
fully intentional.
I hand it to Navos and go, I'm gonna get washed up. Put this with the head.
Navos, you try to open the box that the head is in and realize it is sealed.
Yeah.
That one's not opening again. However, the secondary box that Duncan had requested is available. So
Okay.
you could pack a few extra things in there.
Yeah, I'll take that heart sample and put it in there. I'll kind of presenting the box to Navos for him to place the second
Yep.
jar in.
I'll place it in. Can I also take a look, like an arcana at the container itself, as well as this shard, see if there's anything I can bring out of it?
Sure. Give me that arcana.
Yeah, Brun has left and is leaving like gross. Like you can see his handprint on the
It's like
doorknob.
squishing sounds.
Like the doorknob is just covered in guts and ichor as
You
he's
hear
just like,
people from the hallway go, "Ugh."
look, I'm trying to find a bath. I'm not using
They
the
point
holy
you
water
in
because
the opposite
that's
direction.
sacrilege.
They point you in the opposite direction to get cleaned up. Derek,
Trundles
what did
past
you
the
roll
door.
for your arcana?
That's a natural 20.
Hell yeah.
Stop rolling so good. Gosh.
Uh-huh.
So, with the box, you take a good look at it and find several arcane symbols traced along the underside. If you think of like a mason jar, how it's got the ring seal, kind of like that around the bottom edge of the lid for the secondary box, which looks like a second coin box. And you get the feeling that that's probably what is cementing this shut. You get a couple... There's some sigils for, like, manipulation, transmutation, that kind of thing. That's the vibe you're getting. So, some kind of sealing mechanism there.
Okay.
And for the shard, looking very, very closely at it, you realize it does have some very fine lines that cross the surface of it. You can't make out any sigils or anything from it, but it does have some kind of arcane power. Something going on. It's very alien to anything you've read about or know.
Okay.
Thane is going to stand up and brush themselves off and go, well, that seems very successful. Can we go now? This is disgusting.
Yeah, I second that. I think I'm ready to go.
Good. I saw Farney out in the hallway earlier. So I guess if we tell them that we're done here, we can get going. And they turn
Yeah.
and start walking away.
And Duncan will follow. His business is concluded.
Yep. Follow behind.
As you all head out through Thane is going to talk to one of the attendants that had been in the room. Be like, hey, so we left some stuff in there, and that should be burned immediately. And the person nods aggressively. And they keep walking.
What an incredible exit. We just left this field-dressed torso and we're like, hey, you gotta clean that up. We'll be back.
you gotta burn that. You gotta burn that shit. We're out of
It's,
here. You
it's
gotta burn that.
fucking... Dude,
That's
it's,
nasty.
It's so gross.
it's like going to
That's
the bathroom and you're
nasty.
like, it's fucking gross in there, man. I wouldn't go back.
might wanna
in
give
there
it some
if I
time.
were
Poor
you.
employee at the Red Robins. Oh, it's nasty in there. I'd bring a friend, honestly,
Man,
and walk out with your takeout order.
God help the poor bastard who goes in there next. Have fun.
You all leave all of that behind with your. You've got your sample boxes. The samples. Did you end up sealing anything else into the second box? That is for my reference.
The heart, the shard. I don't think we need the lungs.
I mean, oh, I'm not there. Never mind.
Yeah.
You've cleaned up at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, if we're not, if they don't take the lungs, that's fine.
Yeah, the second box is not nearly large enough for the entire contents of a torso.
Mhm.
I don't need the whole torso. Also, lungs don't take up that much space when they're
No,
empty.
everything that was in the
When
torso.
you squish them, you don't take that much space. Took all
There's
the
an
air out.
eruption, just like a puffball mushroom. Fibers. Smoker lung.
Nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Yeah, so with the heart and the shard, Duncan will steal the second box.
Somebody's going to mix those words together one of these days. And it's gonna
I've
be
already
so
done it in
freaking
my head
funny.
twice.
Mhm. With the shard, I seal the box.
Yeah, with the heart and the shark.
So, before
heart
you
of the
do that,
shark, my
Duncan,
favorite Yu-Gi-Oh
you
episode.
had mentioned wanting to put the Pyval's sigil, Pyval's holy symbol,
Oh, yeah.
in the box. Do you still want to do that?
I still do. Yes, I'm putting that. in the box.
And you also have the notes from Bishop Malor, the ones that Navos had helped him create, and the ones that he had written from your verbal accounts, and what Thane has just added to them. Do you want to put those in one of the boxes or in
I
the
don't
second box?
I don't know if I
as
want
well?
that in that box. I think those would be better for us to be easy access to, because I don't want to break the seal and ruin the product.
Seal for freshness.
Yeah. Here's my
if
sealed shard.
if the if you can press that on the top and it makes that pating noise, that means it's bad.
Yeah. I'll read a quick
so,
just by date.
clarifying question. So we have the box with the head.
Yeah.
We have the box with heart, shard,
sigil.
notes, sigil.
The
not
notes. The notes. Yeah, I'm keeping the notes outside of the box.
There was another sample jar that already had stuff in it. Is there room for that in one of these boxes, or is that a separate sample jar?
That jar can also fit into the second box.
Okay.
So you've got heart, shard, indiscriminate meat, the
Sigil.
It's discriminate. We discriminated
Pyval's.
against him.
Yeah.
Pyval's
Rats.
holy symbol.
They're ruining the economy.
Okay. Anything else you want to
Is
put
it
in
a
there?
is it a vivisection or is it an autopsy?
I don't know if we're either trained for either of those things. It was just four guys in a room
This was a gutting.
removing organs from a rat. Whatever you
Is
call
it-
that.
But is it
Whatever
a
you would call that.
Is it a vivisection or is it?
You
field
didn't
dressing?
cut anything.
Right,
Yeah,
but
it
was
was
he
more
alive?
stripping.
That's the larger question. I think it just
That is a
vored.
philosophical question for later.
Cool. So I just vored this rat man, and now we're gonna
How do
go
we
on with
determine
our
life?
life.
This is a weird part of the internet we've entered into. Anyway.
What's weird is there's already fan art.
Yeah, I'm not looking that up. Anywho. Yeah. Sorry. This went in so many wild directions. I'm very happy to be her friends.
Oh, I'm sorry. You wanted to leave today? We just spent an hour turning this maid into an urn.
You sure did, buddy. There are a couple of vials as well. There was some blood that, like a vial of that congealed blood, a couple of vials that were already in the secondary box as well. Some hair tissue, some bone, etc. Different categories of tissue. Right, so those were already prepared for you as well.
Okay.
You meet up with Farney, and they see the boxes in your hands. Good, looks like we're all ready to go then.
Yeah, as soon as you're ready.
I was ready about an hour ago, but I'll need to get used to moving a little slower now that there's a group. We'll head out the city, or the town rather, and as I said before, it'll take us about 4 days of travel by foot, at least. That's barring any interruptions or delays that we may face. So, at best, about 4 days. The provisions we've been granted should cover us for that. We may need to supplement here and there. That's nothing I'm unused to. And they shift their pack to distribute to all of you rations enough for 4 days. If you all are delayed beyond 4 days, you're going to have to figure that out. How to get food and such. And they assure you that normally this is not a very difficult bit of travel. So, with that, I suppose we'll head out. And they start turning to head toward the front door. They've got the writs, they've got a writ, rather, from the bishop, and one with a council sigil on it, the seal from the council as well. And they start talking to the guard up at the front door, and you get the go-ahead to exit the temple that has been your temporary home for the past almost 24 hours. As you step out of the temple, the noonday, or the noontime light is illuminating Alrith, and you see plants reaching high and stretching out from where they had been placed down along buildings and lining the roads and such. They are growing right before your eyes. There is a rustling of leaves, the gentle cracking of stone, and a low groan of wood from the structures of the town, creating a somewhat tense chorus that is broken almost entirely by your footsteps. You hear some alarms still, not nearly as many as there had been last night. Most of what you're hearing as far as alarms and communication goes are whistles and things like that. It seems that things have calmed down quite a bit overnight. The air around you is humid, almost jungle-like. It's warm and heavy. All of these plants are holding moisture down at street level, making your clothes feel almost sticky. There is still a bit of smoke and ash in the air that kind of tickles your nose and burns your throat a little. But you imagine that this too is much better than it had been. With the sun overhead, it is very reminiscent of Pyvel's last moments, just 24 hours ago. Farney leads you confidently through the streets. It seems they'd already been made aware of several blockages, so you don't have to take the time that the guards had to when you were bringing the group of kids in. They seem to have at least a mental map of the streets and the most efficient route. As you pass through kind of the main area of where the market had been, Brun, you recognize a stall. It is large and green, and below it, there are bolts of fabric. Is everybody on Roll20?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Oh no.
Walking through the streets of Ulrith, at any point, does it look like this path would go by either Duncan's house or his workshop?
No.
Okay.
Well, that's weird. Why does it look like that? What the heck?
What the hell?
I can see the dog.
Yeah, it's doing some weird things. I don't know what's up with that.
It's got a 12 of
please.
something.
Weird. I don't know what that is. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. I don't know what's going on there. That's fun. There are several dogs just past the tent, the stall that you know to be Cynthia's, currently playing tug of war, some of them with each other. Bits of indiscriminate meat, yet again. You see several people kind of scattered about, smeared across the cobblestones. As you approach, they become aware of your presence, and you hear a low series of growls. Let me drop you all on the map as well, because I forgot to do that. Y'all should have control, and I think Thane should be controllable by just about anyone. Is that working?
It's working. Ready to move. Boop, boop.
Fantastic. Can everybody see the dogs?
I can.
Yep.
There are currently 4 of them. Couple seem a little bit larger and stockier than the others, but in general, they seem
And
to be
glowy
traveling
red.
together. Yeah, I don't know why they're showing up red. That's weird.
Maybe
Did
because
you-
they're evil.
I was going to say, did
What
you
does-
use it?
Stable ones. The ones that were more forceful in the stable. I wasn't sure if that was the point.
No, they're not supposed to be red. I
that looks
genuinely
like
have no idea why they're showing up red
that
like
might
that.
that might be a tint in Roll20, like on the actual.
So they do have tints, but they are definitely not red. And that's why I'm very confused. We're gonna just kind of go with it.
Okay.
They should all have name tags at least.
Do not see name tags.
Yeah, I don't see
What
any
the-
things either.
Frick!
No. Looks
I
like-
see health bars.
Yeah,
I do see the health bars.
What?
on the tinted ones.
Yeah.
What? I'm so confused. Okay, well, a couple of options here, friends. We could take a quick, 10-minute break while I figure this out, do our bio break and all that. Ugh. What the heck? We could just kind of
Health-
deal with it.
I was gonna say health bar just disappeared. So whatever. You're
Interesting.
Doing is working. I'm good to say fuck it. We ball.
Okay,
It's
okay.
fine with me.
All right.
Yep, no help.
Still not seeing nameplate?
Nope.
Nope.
I think that might be GM only.
I can, if you tell me their names, I'll write them in Sharpie on my computer screen, and then we won't forget.
Perfect.
That's gonna be a real bitch when they move, though.
Yeah, I know. Just don't move them. Please don't move them.
Actually, Alexis, what happens if you make them controllable by everybody? Because that should let us see them. We just have to. We'll just be nice and we'll promise not to click on them.
But
Okay.
if somebody
okay.
does, we won't know.
It could be any of us.
Okay, how about now?
No, they have no
Did
help
they update
bars.
properly?
Negative.
I can't move them either.
What
Also,
the frick?
I don't know about you guys.
'Cause, like-
the only nameplate for our characters I see is Thane.
It's things.
I-
I see things
yeah.
as well.
And yeah, because again, I
We
think that's
control them, I
because
think.
yep, it's that control aspect.
Gotcha.
Oh, there we go. Mastiff
Massive.
5? Wait a second, you
It is.
said there were
There's
4
5 of them.
dogs.
Yeah, keep reading. Keep reading.
Reading. I only see one to read.
What is happening? I don't understand. Okay. Let's try this. Save that.
Yep, there's 2.
Okay. Save that.
Dog 3.
Save that.
And dog 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not gonna look
You
at
should
the
have
health. the health.
1, 2, 3, and 5.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
I'm so comforted by these dogs. All 5 of them.
So, just so y'all wouldn't know how many dogs there actually were, I did number them randomly. Unfortunately for me, I picked all of the ones that were close enough together. So there's an indeterminate number of dogs. I'm really loving that word right now.
Indeterminate.
Indeterminate and
I
indiscriminate.
honestly, I
meat.
just used that word yesterday in my D&D group. I had given them
Tee-hee.
a riddle, indeterminate value.
Excellent. Okay. Maybe? Did that fix things?
Yep.
Ugh, phenomenal.
It'd be living space.
Okay. Cool. Now that's all fixed up. Let us do a little bit of this. New music. Wahoo!
Woo.
All right. So, doggos are aware of your presence now. You hear some growling a little further away, but as these 4 lock eyes, it is combat time, friends. Go ahead and roll them bones.
Rolling bones.
Thank you, Bones.
Oh no, bones. Dogs love those.
Oh no.
Above 20? 15 to 20. Okay. 10 to 15.
11.
12.
Okay, and Thane has, what is that? That is a 12 as well. Nevos will have you go before Thane.
Okay.
Brun, you had
11.
11. Then it was 12. Okay. And Duncan, what is yours?
A 6.
Woof.
That's what the dogs are saying.
Aru.
And I say it back, woof.
So, for the purposes of this combat, I will say that Farney will stay back. They will keep watch over the sample boxes and stay out of combat as much as possible.
Thank you, Farney.
They are ready for that. So, doggos are staring you down. They have dropped what they were playing with and are now focused on you all Navos, you are up first, friendo.
All right, so I guess again back to the stable. Do these just look like normal stray dogs, or do they have that like sight in their eyes that there's something else going on?
You want to give me an insight on these dogs?
Yes, please. 18.
Okay. You get the feeling that there is something weird about their demeanor, where they seem a little bit agitated. That's similar to the animals previous.
Okay. I'm gonna stay back. Let me go. Just move down a little bit, and I'm just gonna hold an Eldritch Blast for now.
Blast. Okay, go for it. Who are you aiming for?
I'm just gonna hold it.
Ah, sorry. I had missed hearing that. I'm trying to load things. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. And this is
Endorsed.
just to holding until I see what the rest of the group wants to do. Navos does not want
Okay.
to fire off just yet.
Gotcha. All right, that brings us around to Thane, who is going to advance. Speed of 30.
What? Thane charge headlong into the thick of battle?
He's trying to liberate these bodies from the oppression of the dogs. He says as
And
he,
scooch
as he
all the way
marches
up there.
forward.
Mm-hmm.
Something
All
dogs,
right.
something
These are
oppression.
good, hardworking members of the working class.
All right, that brings us to Brun. Big Beefums.
Like as Thane runs off, Brun's just kind of gonna look to the rest of the group. As I walk by, as I walk by Navos, I'm gonna be like, get your. If you only need one hand to cast, have a knife in your other one.
Good idea.
Which one of these dogs looks to be the biggest?
Big
Mastiff too?
boys. Either of the, let's see, I believe that's 2 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah, the Mastiffs are the big boys.
I'm gonna run up next to Thane and just be big and broad, and just make as much noise as I can as I'm approaching, and just be big and menacing. Trying to get them to chew on me, probably, or get at least the
Gotcha.
attention of the biggest one in the pack.
Gotcha. Yeah. Anything else for you?
That is, I have nothing as a bonus action. I use my action to dash, my movement. Yeah, that's me. Just kind of
That brings us to
big and making noise.
Yeah. Duncan.
Okay. He's going to just run on up. Do. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Bless on a Brun.
Bless on Brun. Okay.
Assisted aim is what I'm calling it, and I'm going to kind of point out weak points in the dog for him to attack.
What are the weak points on a dog, Duncan?
It's like the armpit area. They don't like that when you touch it, so it's probably a weak point.
Fair enough. That brings
Brun
us
turns
around.
and gives an enthusiastic thumbs up, and then goes.
And
back
then
to what
as Duncan is running past Navos, he's going to look to the left. And does it smell like Updog in here as he runs right past?
What's up, dog?
Nothing much. Let's go to battle. Let's go. Come on.
But
now
there's a
my
fight
turn.
going on. What's up with you?
I hate it here. Okay, thanks. Bye. That brings us around to the dog.
I believe they rolled lower than a 6.
Oh, man. Yeah, they did not roll very well, to be fair. So, Big Beefums is going to attack Brun over here. Could I please get everybody's updated ACs?
Mine is still 18.
16.
13 for Navis, 16 for Brun?
Mhm.
And what was things? Okay. Cool. And that will make life so much easier. Probably, maybe. So this first dog, Brun, is going to come charging at you with its mouth slavering, trying to get a juicy, juicy bite out of your booty. As it comes at you, you manage to push the head off to the side somewhat and deflect the bite. We have a second one coming after Thane. Whoops. That one as well is going to try barking and biting. So that is unfortunate. As it goes to bite at Thane, it's a little bit wild with the aggression and ends up biting the other dog. So that's cool. I love that for me.
Listen, all I heard was that's unfortunate.
Hey, look, a booty's a booty.
Yeah, listen. I'm not going to kink shame inside the species.
Alrighty then. Another dog coming around for the bite. Doodly-doo. Brun, it's going for you as well. And this time it will manage to land a hit. Big ol' chunk. That is 2 points of damage. I need for you to please make a strength saving throw as it comes bounding up. Oh, actually, sorry. Nix that part. That is not this particular dog. But you are going to take the 2 points of damage.
It's currently nipping around my thighs. My calves and thighs.
Yep. Nipping at the heels. That brings us back around to Navis.
Navis, did you have a trigger that you wanted for your Eldritch Blast?
Yeah, I was kind of waiting to see if you guys fired off. If I can get one off before this turn.
Sure.
Okay. We'll go for the top dog.
The most northern dog or the biggest dog?
The most northern. That's
So that one,
The northerly dog.
an 18 will in fact hit the dog.
Okay. Let me get that dog.
Get that dog.
Can I get that dog?
Can I pet that dog? Can I blast that dog?
I want to blast that dog. That's 8 points.
Look at Navis. He got that dog in him.
No, I've got the dog on me.
Okay, so that was last round. This will be top of the round. At this point, the howling and braying of the dogs does draw the attention of another couple. There was one that was kind of under the tent here. I don't know. Hopefully y'all can see that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then a second one comes up around the corner here as well. Boop. All right. So, Navos, top of the round, what are you doing? You've just blasted a dog.
Yeah, now it's getting a little scary with this many dogs. So I'm going to go for the now most northernly dog.
That new one that showed up?
The
Dog
new
7?
one that showed up. That's only 7 points. 7 to hit, I mean.
7 to hit. Your blast goes a little bit wide, erasing a small bit of table and canvas off to the side.
Okay. And
next.
the other dog I hit, what did that look like?
What did it look
pull
like?
I think I'd like to go for the front right paw, see if it kind of like distracts it a bit.
You take out kind of that whole corner of it. It should be a bit of a tripod at this point, but it's still acting fairly normally, other than whimpering in pain, because what you've done has hurt it quite a bit.
Yeah.
about kind of the right half of this dog is currently missing. So, very odd to see, very weird to look at. Thane is going to start a swinging. Oh, I'm doing this on mobile. Gross.
And then I started blasting.
And it started blasting. So they're going to go with the sickle. Could somebody please roll for me to hit with the sickle?
Oh,
It'll
as
be
a
plus
paladin,
6.
bro. I'll roll. It's the 11 plus 6. 16, 17? So I can do math.
Okay. Going after this mastiff in front of himself. And doodly-doo. That is... Okay. Thane, no mercy. Goes and hits this mastiff, and it goes down.
No mercy for the wicked.
So, time for ye old red X. Ba, ba, ba.
You should have painted him red.
I don't need this.
I actually have more questions
okay.
about the rare rat head if you want
No, I'm good.
to. Okay.
They're going to step over the corpse of this dog and go swinging for this other mastiff here. This one right there. Could somebody else roll me to hit? This will be with the light hammer.
That's a 10.
Plus 6.
Okay.
16.
Or 16.
There's no plus 6 for this. It's an offhand.
Oh, that's a bonus. Yeah, bonus action. Yeah.
Yep. So they take a swing, and the dog kind of dodges the swing, still growling, still upset. That brings us to Brun.
Yeah, Brun's gonna like reach out and try to yeah, yeah, we're just gonna go out and like try and just grab the scruff, like just get it and just like bop the dog on the nose, be like, no,
You know.
we're gonna scold this here pup.
Bad dog.
11 plus.
You also are assisted aid.
Oh, and blessed. Incredible. 17 to hit.
That'll do it.
May I use one of my maneuvers?
Sure.
I would like to use menacing attack. Expending a superiority die to add the total of my damage roll, and the target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failure,
Okay.
they are frightened of me.
I will say, as much as I love the enthusiasm, that will not be necessary looking at this thing.
Incredible. Then, yeah, Fred's just
Hold
gonna
off
be
on
like, "No, bad dog," and then we're gonna do a whack.
Bap him with the newspaper.
Just my big bare fists.
But it
It's
was the
just
bad
in-
dog that really hurt. That really did the damage.
It really, really like it's the insult more than anything.
What's the damage?
Unarmed. Oh man, that is only. It's only 5. I rolled a 1 on the damage die.
This dog that is half erased under the fury of your fist goes down.
I thought Navo shot the north dog, not the one in front of me.
You are quite correct. This one is still down.
Oh, okay.
Don't question it too much.
Nope. Just to clarify, yeah, just like bad dog, and just like swats down and just like so like you get the
It
feeling that
drops to the ground with force.
Brun hit this thing harder. I think Thane would catch that Brun hit this thing harder than even he expected. Like it was just like fist hits head, fist stops moving, head hits floor. But just like, all right.
Anything else for you?
And there's no reason to grapple, so no, I'm good.
Okay.
I murdered.
That brings us to Duncan then.
Okay. I am going to run up over to here to cut off our flank. Brandishing my longsword, I'm going to make a swing with it. It is a 12 plus 5.
That is.
17. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1d8. Somewhere in here. There it is. 4, 6 plus 3, 9 points of damage. Damage.
9 points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The dog goes down. Okay. Anything else for you?
That will be it.
All right. Remaining couple of doggos. So this one is... Oh gosh, that has overlaid weirdly. I'm going to move our dead dog off to the side. Oh.
He's only playing dead. No animals were harmed at the making of this film.
But did the dog die? All right. So this one... Let me fix a couple of things here, because I'm dumb and set these up poorly. Fantastic.
You're not dumb.
So the one in front of Brun here is going to go for the bite. And that is nearly a crit. So Brun, it comes bounding up over the corpse of the others for max damage. That is 7 piercing.
Oof.
As it latches onto your downed fist, the one that you just used to drop its buddy. Feel the teeth sink into your arm. Very, very uncomfortable for you.
Mm-hmm.
This other one, Mastiff 2, 3, whatever number that number is, that is going to go for Thane, and that is going to just barely miss. It goes for the similar latching on to a leg, and Thane's armor holds it back. The final remaining doggo up here is going to go for flanking. And go after Brun. Okay. It goes to latch onto your leg, Brun, and you manage to kick it away just a little bit, so it cannot continue the attack. All right, that is it for the dogs. Brings us back around to Navos.
Yep, I'm gonna move up a little bit closer. Take a shot at dog 3 again. That one. See if I can just knock it unconscious. I don't know how that would work with what I'm doing to it. It's a 9.
A 9. You are going to blast the ground by its feet and miss. Anything else you'd like to do?
No. I'll leave it there.
All right. Thane is going to do. What do they have? What do they have? Not much. Somebody go ahead and roll to hit for me. They're going to keep swinging. They'll continue
okay.
on the Mastiff.
That is a 10.
Okay. And that is... We'll say that was the sickle again. All right. Another one drops before Thane. That is
Mighty and
another
powerful.
Radix. Mighty and powerful. All right. That's it for Thane for right now. They'll move, actually. There you go. Little conga line of...
Yay!
of
Conga line
flanking.
of death.
That brings us around to Brun, rather.
It's
They
like a
call
Blake
out,
4th edition all over again.
now Brun.
Is he still grabbing onto my fist?
Yeah. We'll say
Would
he's
you
latched
call-
on pretty good.
Will we call that a grapple?
No,
Okay.
that's
He's
just flavor.
He's okay. Great.
You're just tasty.
Then I'm going to yeah, I'm just gonna he's got him in one hand, I'm just gonna bonk him with the other. So that's
Another bad dog.
That's advantage because of flanking.
I believe
Or-
flanking just granted you a +2.
Just the +2 copy. That's much better. 14 plus 2 plus 4 is a dirty 20.
Filthy. Disgusting. Yes, that hits.
Naughty 20.
Don't like that.
And that is an 8. There we go. That's way better than the one I got last time. For 12 damage.
12 damage. Down it
A lot of
goes.
damage.
These
Bam!
are not the healthiest looking dogs, to be fair. So that one also goes down the mouth, releasing your arm. Anything else for you?
Gonna, for narrative's sake, just like pull myself up and turn and sort of stare down the other dog that took a bite out of me and just be like, go on now, get.
That brings us to Duncan.
Okay. He's gonna go on and get right behind that dog.
The tail
and
is
everything
between
else
the
good.
legs at this point. It is not looking well.
Does this dog look diseased at all, or is it just a rabid dog feasting on food?
Would you like to use your action to investigate or insight or whatever? Make a roll on this dog.
No, I want to attack it.
Okay.
That's an 8 plus 5, 4, 8, 14, 15, 13.
You got there eventually.
Yeah, I got
That does
there.
in fact
Did the
hit.
math. Okay, and frog dice for the win is a 1 plus 3, 4, 4 damage.
How do you finish off this fight?
As gently as I can. Just a quick, right to the spine, kind of put this dog down. It's seen better days. And right now we don't need any more carriers. And the first thing to be killed in like a kind of outbreak epidemic are the rats and the homeless dogs. So he's doing his part. I'm doing my part, and just gonna kind of put it down. You know, remember to spay or neuter your dogs, kids. I'll kill them if they don't.
Brilliant.
Bob
As-
Barker, their Chernobyl liquidator.
Oh, your
That's
sword cleaves the spine once again. Second time today in the past,
Not
Half
not
hour.
a cleave motion, more of a stab, pierce the
Ah.
spine, sever the connection
squeeze
to the.
me.
Yes.
As the
Quick and
spine is
painless.
broken by your sword, the legs move out from under the dog and it drops to the ground. Dead.
Poor fella.
All right, that is the end of that brief combat. Well done, friends.
Yay.
Ba-da-da-da. Oh my goodness, so many things. Fixing all the musics now. Yeah, that seems good. Alright. Farney will call to the rest of you. Excellent job. Now, if somebody would like to come grab these, we'll keep on our way. Motioning toward those boxes, because they were
And Duncan-
instructed not to touch them.
Duncan will come back to collect his box.
No. Brun. It's like, do we want to... We can put those in my pack. I'm not worried about the extra weight. Keep our hands free for fighting if we have to keep moving.
If that's what you'd prefer, that's completely up to you.
When you said hands, were you looking at Duncan? Because he takes that very offensively. The S changes everything.
Yes, and you see the moment where he goes, "Ah, damn it." He's like looking
My
at the group and looks
hand-
to you for approval.
Will be just fine, just in case.
Brun will take a second to reorganize his pack to put the box with the head in it, nestled safely at the bottom, like you would keep a coin box.
And Duncan will do the same, kind of
Easy
putting
enough.
it in his backpack,
Yeah,
his bag.
All right.
and then
Brief combat out of the way.
there's as we're looking to leave, Brun does take a quick look around Cynthia's little spot in the shop and the bodies. Is Cynthia one of these bodies?
Make me an investigation.
Oh, yay! To the whims of fate. Oh no.
I don't know.
That is a 4.
There's a mess in this stall that you had so lovingly bullied Marlowe into giving to Cynthia. You see pools of blood, you see bodies. You see a couple of dogs with knitting needles buried in the eye. You do not find Cynthia.
There's a second where Brun wants to keep looking. And then the rest of the group is ready to go, so he kind of
I
like,
have seen Cynthia. I know the connection. I know this stall. Duncan, he's going to walk up to Brun, realizing what he's doing. And without really kind of pushing that hands comment away, he will put his one good hand on Brun. Hey, we got to go. It's time to go. It's not worth it.
yeah.
Just like Jurgensen, just keep the memory.
Yeah.
Thane is cleaning their gear and looks to the rest of you. Well, shall we?
I think we shall.
Resettles the pack and stomps onward.
Easy enough. Your travel only mildly delayed. You make it to the outer wall. The entrance that you all kind of made your way in through. Hanging open. You see some guards up on the crosswalks around the wall. Most of them pay you no mind. They seem very distracted by other tasks. There's currently nobody really guarding the gate. As you made your way through, the tavern that you had all stayed at hangs open. You hear a couple of people clattering inside, but not nearly the volume that you would expect for a place that had the bar fight and had so many people bringing it to life. The road that passes over toward where the durable draft was and the blacksmiths and the different workmen, it's quiet back through there. You hear a gentle braying of certain animals, but other than that, it's empty. And the gate is before you. And that's where we'll take our break.
Okay. Perfect.
Let's do like a 10-15. What are we feeling?
I mean, 9 sounds like a pretty
Yeah. Come back in
dry
9.
number.
Come back at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I gotta do laundry and stuff too anyway.
Okie doke. Sounds good. We'll be
Okie
back at 9 o'clock.
9 p.m. Thank you, 9. I've returned.
Hello. Welcome back.
I forgot. So this weekend on Sunday, I went to a 2-year-old's birthday party for my best friend because his kid just turned 2, and helped them do some setup and did all that. And then they rolled out the cake, and I was befuddled because what kind of cake do you expect for a 2-year-old? For a 2-year-old's birthday?
Paw Patrol, Cat Pajama, whatever that one is, like that.
Like Moana or something like that, like
Lego.
Like very kids, very kid themed. Let me share with you the cake that was wheeled out for this shindig. I just threw it in the chat here.
I see.
They accidentally,
that's a wedding cake.
They accidentally got a wedding cake because either it was poorly communicated or somebody in the bakery screwed up real bad.
How do you not look at the receipt and say, "Oh, this is a $500 cake"? Something is a
$225, but it was a very expensive cake.
Something is afoot.
So they were like, "Well, this is not going to work for a 2-year-old." So they doctored it.
You won't care.
And they grabbed her Moana and Maui and Pua and Heihei figures and put them on the cake.
It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous birthday cake.
And so I bring that up because that's what I have for dessert. Because something about Moana and Maui at the top of a wedding cake is just very funny to me. This also, I've never identified more with a 2-year-old than when the child is clearly overstimulated and clearly having the worst time. And everyone's like, "No, you have to open your present. You have to. I was like, let the kid not do a thing. She's holding both of her ears and going and screaming because it's fucking loud.
You need to eat your wedding smash cake.
Maybe I did tell Orin that he needs to save a slice for her 3rd birthday, which did not get as much of a joke as I hoped.
Brilliant. Welcome back, friends.
Welcome back.
Hello. Alexis, real quick, I got the tapestry teaser finished, so whenever you have anything that you want to send over for the source book, feel free. I don't want you to do any more work than you've already done, but if there's anything you want to keep kept hidden until the source book is out, feel free to keep it to yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to chat with Andrew about what I've got cooking, but clearly that's not going to happen right now, so oh well. I'll give him a couple days and I'll poke him again. Anywho, welcome back, friends. You have finally reached the gates to leave Alrith, and as you go to take that step,
I forgot I left the stove on. Turn around and go back.
No, well, honestly, the reason I had asked earlier if Duncan had gone by his shop at all is because he forgot to put the close sign on it. He's got to flip it over so nobody goes in there.
Oh,
it's far too late for that, my friend.
I know, and that's why he's really upset. He's going to be thinking about it the entire time.
He's going to be so broody.
You can tell the guards. Maybe one of them will do it.
Hey,
as you go to step out the gate, you cross that threshold.
No, wait.
And
before
find
we step across.
yourselves
Honestly,
back
we
in
only
the
have to
temple.
buffer for an hour.
Wait. And then another 3 next week. Like, it'll be fine.
The crowd is back in front of you. It's like you never left. Oh, now you're paying attention. That was all a joke.
It was all a dream.
We're not going back to the temple.
Honestly, how long of a campaign do we have of just us in the temple?
Oh, Groundhog Day every day, baby. No.
But no Groundhog Day.
It's just
Anyway.
time passes. We just live in a temple.
You've arrived at the gate, and the sounds of battle are mostly distant. You do hear off to one side a growing clamor of armored feet coming your way. And at the head of the crowd, the group, you see somebody in resplendent armor and a familiar voice of Jepka.
Okay.
I'm glad I caught you all before you left. I wanted to make sure that you were taken care of before you headed out. I'm not sure when I'll be able to meet you all back in Kalo, but I hope for your sake that travel is simple. Farney, good to see you again. Little nod and wave impatiently from Farney. I trust you all spoke with Malor. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
And you received my letters?
Yep. And I'll pull them out to show her. I'll put them back in my pocket.
In that case, then. While I wish our first meeting could have been under better circumstances, I am pleased to have made your acquaintance. And they will lift a hand out to shake yours. One final
Duncan
goodbye.
Tan was already coming out.
Strong clasp. Hearty shake. A warrior's handshake.
Likewise.
We're here to finish cleaning up, and thus I will be delayed. But I shouldn't be too far behind all of you. Make sure you clear the road for us, will you?
We'll try our
Shakes
best.
another hand.
Yeah, Brun will take this hand and go, I'll only leave one or two tree trunks in the way for you to go around. I'll get the big ones.
There's a big smile, a chuckle. I look forward to seeing the aftermath.
I left something for you with Marlowe. So before
For
you
me?
come following us, I would see him.
All right. I hope it's not a gift or anything.
I hope it's not
No.
like a completely torn apart body you just left for me.
No, well, not the whole body. Also, our
The what?
apologies.
What did you do?
An enthusiastic collection of evidence.
There is a look of horror from beneath the helm. I don't think I want to know what that means. And Thane
I'm
from
sure-
behind you, Brun,
Yeah,
is like,
I don't think
you
you do.
don't.
Unfortunately, you will find out no matter what.
Oh,
But no, it was with purpose and intent.
At least that we
are
tell ourselves.
Far too happy about that. Turns to you, Navos.
I'll go to shake your hand. I'm excited.
Hollow will not be. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I'm excited to see you in the future, and glad we have next year's trip as well.
She looks to your clasped hands. It looks like our futures are crossed. Kala will not be kind to you. But I feel with the group that you have, you'll make it through just about anything. I will see you then, Nevos. Moves to Thane. You have so much to learn, and so many people to protect. Stay strong, grow, and learn, and use that for the people you care about. Thane will shake the hand, attempting a similar amount of strength, maybe overdoing it just a little in their nervousness. We'll see you later. And Jepka will turn to the paladins that are following her. Right. Let's finish this job, shall we? And they are going to start heading away. The world outside the gates. Oh, sorry, Evan, was that something you wanted to
No,
say?
that was me saluting her off as she kind of walks away.
Clank, 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 clank. Away
Clank,
they go.
End scene.
End scene. The world outside
Wait, before we
of
go
Alrith's
outside.
gates. I'm gonna mute you. I've been trying for 10 goddamn weeks to get us out of this city, this town.
If I take one more step, this is the
This-
farthest from the
farthest
temple
from
I've
home.
ever been.
Oh god, I hate it here. I'm
Except
ending everything right here, right now.
Every time we take one more step, they keep playing that clip.
The gate grows farther and farther away, and you all fall into an abyss and die.
Rocks fall, everyone dies, except Thane.
End scene.
Alrith has never been quite large enough to house all of the people who come for the Spring Blessings Festival. Because of that, and because most of the people who are coming to visit are not wealthy by any means, they remain outside the gates and set up tents and canopies, and some just lay out their bedrolls. It is a small town that emerges around the walls every year. Looking out, the remains of that town are shocking. Most of it is mud at this point, from countless feet pounding their way through the turf in an attempt to escape the horrors behind the gates. Several of the canopies and canvas tents are ground into the dirt, trampled along with whatever was inside them, some with a rusty red hue to them. There are several bodies strewn throughout as well, similar to what you had seen in the main roadways of Alrith, where it looks like people who couldn't keep up with the push of the crowd. There are discarded carts where wheels broke, or the drivers were thrown, or they overturned and threw everything inside out. A couple of pack animals lay on the ground as well. There is mud and blood and everything in between mixed all around. The plants out here, just as the ones in town had been, are trailing across the surface. They are crawling and creeping and growing. And the road is becoming hard to see at this point. It seems the blessing extended far beyond town's walls. Farney makes a broad gesture. Thus begins our adventure, shall we? And starts striding away, stepping carefully between the larger mounds of material, weaving their way along a road that they know is there, that, given a few days, probably will be very difficult to find. Into the world. For travel, I've got a few questions for you.
Okay.
You know, it'll take about 4 days. As you are traveling each day, I'm going to ask how you would like to travel. So whether you're going speedy, whether you're going relaxed, careful, etc. So for today's travel, you're starting out around noon here. What is your method here? Are you going full tilt? Are you being cautious?
Duncan is always one for caution, but he knows he's on a timetable, so I think a regular pace for Duncan at least. We did do battle before we left, so gotta catch his breath still.
Like a going for distance rather than speed kind of pace.
So you can stay at a consistent pace without getting tired too quickly, that kind of thing?
An endurance pace.
Derek?
Yeah, I figured Navos is never much in a rush, so I'd say balanced for now, and we'll see how we can keep up if we have to go full tilt.
Okay. While you are traveling, you will have roles that you can each take on. Multiple people can do the same task or the same role. It's up to you. There are scouts, there are guards, there are navigators, and there are specialty. Scout is somebody who's kind of on alert, looking for features, looking for what's going on around. Guard is on alert for danger, for combat. Navigation, that's going to be your survival type roles, so making sure you're going the right way, etc. Since you have Farney, they will be taking that role pretty consistently. And then a task or specialty, that is if y'all want to be doing something specific while you're traveling, whether that is foraging along the way or what have you, right? So each of those has a different role you will make for the day. So let me pull up a paper. Okay. Navigator uses survival. Guard uses one of the strength rolls, so you could do like intimidation or something like that. That one's kind of your choice, but some sort of strength type roll. If you have somebody on guard and combat comes up, it gets you a surprise round. Keeps you from being surprised. And then scout is either investigation, perception, that kind of thing. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
For the specialty ones, that's kind of a case-by-case basis. So if you're foraging, for instance, that would be probably another stealth roll or survival roll, that kind of thing. If you are trying to spread the good word of your god for the day, that would be a religion, right? If you are trying to give off the appearance that you are not to be messed with, perhaps you are making an intimidation check to ward off any strangers or encounters of that sort. So for today's travel, does anyone want to claim a role for the day? Well, you all have to claim a role, but what role you choose is up to you.
I would like to take a scout as often as possible. I think that would work best.
Okay.
At least
What
for my
position did Farney want?
Farney will tend to take scout, or navigator,
navigator.
rather. Navigator.
Yeah.
Because they do know the way. And that is kind of their whole thing. So you have at least one person on that. If multiple people, for instance, choose the same role, so if somebody else would choose scout, you could do advantage, or we'll average out the rolls.
Brun, do you want to pick, and I'll pick whatever's left? Because I'm no particularly better than anything else.
So, I was thinking Brun. looking sort of in the specialty task, because he knows where highwaymen and women are likely to be. Pointing out spots on the road that may be an easier ambush. Or like if we find a downed tree, like what are the signs that this might be? This may be, the tree was downed on purpose to stop traffic. For stuff like that. I was thinking that for specialty.
In that case, what kind of role are you thinking for that?
I'm thinking... so deception or insight?
I would grant you insight for that.
Okay. Because, like, insight is how you spot a deception, but I'm better at deception. But I can do insight.
I think that leaves the
Too
guard
bad.
roll open.
Yeah.
And I think Duncan will take that one then.
Okay.
Well,
Thane will...
Yeah, what was Thane going to do?
I was going to say, Thane can do whatever y'all would like, but my instinct was to just put them on guard.
He'd probably be a better guard than I would, honestly. So let's have him be the
You
guard.
can both do it.
Yeah, I know we can both do it, but that leaves me open to do special tasks, and I don't know, because this also involves Thane. Thane wanted Duncan to kind of train him and show him some things, and by doing that, by the virtue of doing that, Duncan kind of can remember some of his training as well. Kind of wipe away the rust, if you will.
Hey, kid,
So
you're going to
you-
learn how to march.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah, that's
will
not
have
marching, but, like-
opportunity at the end of the day or during breaks in travel to do
Okay.
various activities.
Okay,
so
so
you
then I'll
can
save that.
for then.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, then
do you
I
wanna
guess
stick with guard.
no.
You wanna
I'll-
go
if-
specialty.
No, I think I'm gonna help Farney be a navigator. I kind of know
Okay.
this land. I've traveled from place to place.
Derek, I believe you were going to say something.
Yeah, just a question. So, if nothing seems to happen at night and we're sleeping, will that be considered a long rest?
So, long rest is 8 hours, 2 of which can be light activity. So, light activity is like watch or reading or studying or what have you. Maybe some very gentle stretching. If your rest is interrupted for more than an hour, you're going to have to finish that long rest with extra time. I'm not too excited to track literal hours in game. But if we have like a distinct event or something that happens, I'll probably say like you start out a little bit later in the day than you than you wanted to, something like that.
Okay.
But generally, unless I really feel like screwing y'all over, 8 hours for the long rest. So typically for a day, you'll have your travel, your activity, and your rest period.
Okay. Sounds good.
Does that actually answer the question?
Yeah. Yeah. It just tells me Navos needs to get back into his hot yoga.
All right. Perfect. That would be a
What
perfect
an
downtime
incredible
activity.
sentence out of context.
Even in context, it was great.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, can I please get them rolls from everybody? So, Navos, your scout roll, either investigation or perception. Run your insight. Duncan, for navigation, your survival. And for Thane, a guard roll. I'm just going to roll a straight strength roll for them. Oof.
Okay, I got a 13.
13 for Duncan.
A 19 for Brun.
I am wasting these. That's a natural 20.
Incredible. And then for Thane, what did that end up being? A 9. Oof. Right. Your travel is mostly unimpeded, Brun, thanks to your lookout for these signs of interference with the road. Anywhere there might have been issue, you pass through and avoid. For the scouting, Navos, you see a couple of things kind of off in the distance. There are signs of other travelers taking different paths from your own. Several of them do seem to be headed vaguely the same direction. There are a couple of smaller settlements that you see in the distance. If you would feel like you needed to stop at one, you could very easily point them out. In general, around Alrith, you're not seeing too many very exciting things. It's a hub for a lot of activity, but it is not necessarily like the most happening place. Duncan, helping Farney, you feel pretty comfortable with the pace you've taken. So even though you set out kind of late, you are able to make and set camp with Navos' help. Where are you guys looking to set up camp? Are you trying to stay off the road? Are you trying to stay in view of the road? The woods are dense. For those of you who have traveled through here before, it does seem like things are a little denser than usual. You would imagine that is a byproduct of the blessing from Pyval, extending even this far. What kind of setup are you all looking for?
For me, I don't think I want to stay in any foresty area, at least while we're around Alrith, just in case it gets too little overgrown while we're sleeping. But something a little off the road. We are kind of on a secret kind of mission, and we don't really want to be waylaid or our possessions stolen. Something that could be defensible in a pinch.
Yeah. I will say with the Nat 20 from Navos, you can find kind of a cliffside that has a little bit of a cave. Fairly strong, defendable, not too far into the forest. You are still close enough to the woods. You see signs of previous camps set up here. But for now, you feel pretty well hidden, especially with the overgrowth that's happening. So, that was easy enough. Day 1. Are you freaking kidding me? Can you guys hear that siren?
Yep,
You sure can. I was about to say, is we getting bombed?
Dang, that roll 20 music is incredible.
We're getting attacked already. We just set up.
Yeah, no, you guys had an uneventful trip. However, the
As you're
cave
setting up
itself
camp.
will eat you.
God dang it. I'm just gonna ignore that. God dang it. It is 9:30 at night. Who's setting fires?
Yeah, I know. The volunteers.
I live right next to the fire department, if I have never mentioned that before. So that's cool.
I'm surprised it's the first time we've heard it so far.
I think there wasn't there one where you
It's
muted
happened
for
before, but yeah, I wasn't the one talking.
Yeah, so you just muted and let it ride.
Yeah, cool. Love that. Well, with that, camp is set. You are able to down your rations, finish those off for the day, get settled, get comfortable. You have time now for any activities that you'd like to do before kind of settling in for the evening. So again, this could be foraging, for instance, or you could fortify your area. You could scout the local area to make sure you know what's around you. Is there anything like that anyone would like to do, or do you want to go straight to rest?
I'm remembering that night. It seems like so long ago, but it was actually only about 12 hours ago. Of when the guy was showing us the potions and stuff like that. I think I'm gonna head out into the forest beyond this cave, kind of looking for some of those ingredients that he had mentioned to kind of make these potion bases.
Okay, absolutely. I will say that if you would ask Farney, they would also be willing to help you since you did help them with navigation today. So you can roll that at advantage. That sounds to me like a survival.
Survival or nature, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to do nature, you can argue that one as well.
I would like to argue nature.
All right, are
that would be
you
a 17.
complete?
Yay, 17.
I will say that you find enough material, plant component anyway, for 1.5 salves. You'll need to continue finding a little bit more of the other materials, but you will also need to make more salve base, like you had been shown as well. But the herbs, you've got 1.5 worth. You know what? Screw it. We'll say 2.
Yeah,
Just because tracking halves is annoying.
Yeah, partials.
I don't feel like being that obnoxious about tracking certain stuff. But yeah, you'll still need to make more potion base. Anything else from the other 2? You want to hang out for a bit? Do you want to do some training? This would be a good time for that.
I was gonna say, Nabos, if you're down, Brun will run you through some dagger basics.
Yeah, I'm good for that. I did have a quick little scene, but I want everyone together. It doesn't have to be tonight. We can hold off for a night or so.
Son of a...
Really good. Yeah, I
The
wanted
alarm
to do
bells ringing for Navos.
the training as well, but without Thane here, I want to save that scene for something else.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let's all shoot dirty glances in Andrew's general direction.
How dare his wife set up
I
something
think
for
he's that way.
Father's Day?
I know.
Yeah,
Stuff.
it's not even Father's Day anymore. What the heck?
Yeah, grow
What
up. Grow up.
Mondays for the boys.
Yeah, you're a dad every day of the year. Why do you get you have 365 special days for being a dad.
Yeah, come on. You
Happy
cannot have
not
Mondays.
Father's Day.
Ugh. Anyway. Alright, so if you'd like to run through some drills, Derek, you had asked me a question. Something for the crew to debate here. So the question were...
Were the question. I asked too many questions. I can't remember.
No, it was great. Okay, so I found it. So you had asked about passing off spells or features between characters as you all train together. So this would be kind of avoiding multi-classing officially and allowing you to learn things outside of your class. What are we all feeling about that kind of thing? Because my concern is, especially in later levels, I don't think you could learn more advanced things in a different class without multi-classing.
I
would
will
say
tell
like
you that
base level.
in my game, which is completely different game, different theme, different everything, we do have a
Yes.
system for this. I have built a downtime system where my character or my players can. There's initial money cost, and then they have to every week that we meet, they have a downtime token to spend. For skills like that, that's 10 downtime tokens plus the initial cost. So it is a thing, but it's an investment that they could be doing something else with their downtime, but they're sticking to training this thing. It's a little bit easier for skills within their class, but to learn skills outside of a class, it requires a little bit more downtime tokens. Could do something similar to that if you'd like to, but that is a whole system. I can forward the pages if you'd like.
Crew, how do we feel?
Because there's where's my
I
Can you give me my binder at all?
I really like that idea of learning something from, especially learning it from each other. I do think it's more than just like, hey, we spent a week walking through the woods and now, Navos can, do any of Brun's things. Like it is a not necessarily a weaker version, but it is definitely it is an opportunity for growth off of each other, which I think could be really, really interesting. I would be very curious to see Evan's paperwork on it.
Yes. So I have other, besides that kind of thing, downtime activities. So, and each one of them is very useful. So it's almost like you're giving something up in order to train a skill or a thing. So I have training. It's on my sheet here. Ignore the money thing because I had to change the D&D economy. But like there's an associated cost for it. And then these are there's various things that you can do. You can improve an existing skill so that you would gain expertise instead of just being proficient in something. You can learn a whole new language. You can get new tool proficiencies. You can gain proficiency in a skill that you don't have. You can gain proficiency in saving throws, learn new combat maneuvers, things like that.
There may be something, if we want to keep it simple, stupid. Blades in the Dark has a really good downtime and skill improvement system. For just like, hey, what is your relative downtime looking like? And then, but I do like the idea of having that cost associated with it, whether it being time or money.
Honestly, I think it should be both.
Yeah.
Make more more realistic.
But yeah, more money go faster because you can get a better tutor. But if money is tight, you just spend more time doing it, kind of thing.
Yeah. But I also have things for that too. Like I have networking, so like you can spend your time talking to people within whatever local villages are there, gaining allies, gaining. This kind of replaces that I know a guy kind of thing because I spend my downtime networking. I do know a guy because I just met him.
Because I did all the networking. Yeah. Yeah.
There's work. But
yeah, short answer, I'm super down for it. I'm curious. I'm wondering where, as far as like core competencies, like Brun as a non-magic user learning magic from a palette, or like it for me, I don't want it to just be like I'm doing this for the mechanical advantage, but I don't think that's a problem with this particular group.
Yeah, I like the expansion of because I think this is a very selfish for Navos, pulling from everybody else, and there's no way the way I have my magic is going to be easily passed off. So I think giving out like the language would help a lot, especially like the undercommon.
I think we all provide different valuable skills. Yeah. I think Duncan has a lot of martial training that he can pass on, but he doesn't know magic and he doesn't know criminal activity things.
Yeah,
like some of us do.
Yeah,
like some of us
also just
do.
like some of us thieves. But also
some of us
like
bad people.
I also love the idea of like giving those proficiencies, and I think that could be a really good one. Whereas like because Navos might have a really like even Navos' just understanding of Arcana, like because I feel like I don't know what skills you're proficient in, but Arcana might be one where like Brun has no background in that.
Yeah, that history investigation.
Yeah,
based on the
time. Just seeing the world through your eyes, like what like there's I think there's opportunities there for that.
Did you say eyes?
Fuck, we're gonna have to throw that
damn
back.
it, I'm being ableist again.
What is this
That is
ableism?
the second time tonight, Curtis.
We have to call this out when we see it.
Yeah, you know what?
With our
indeed.
eyes.
That's on me. You got to raise your fist and point
Only
out
one
these
fist,
inequities.
'cause he's only got a stump. So the question was specifically related to an increase in strength or a feature related to their class. Talking about the rest of y'all. I think given enough time and effort, like I would say, sure, you can beef up your arms. You can do squats. But I think it would be a decent time investment at the very least.
To be able to do it well do it under pressure. kind of thing.
Yeah. So, and most of those things from my sheet here do require like 8 downtime. So that's 8 sessions, which is 2 months of them continuously doing the same task and their downtime, which is an investment. But then they get this free thing for their character because it makes sense.
Right.
Oh, they spent 2 months training or doing whatever they're doing.
So for now that I know y'all are pretty on board with something like this, I will kind of chat with all of you, I think, over the next couple of weeks to figure out where we're feeling that this could go. And we can kind of narrow things down a little bit outside of game. So as far as activity stuff goes, Duncan got his foraging in. Anything for the other two for right now?
I was gonna work with Navos a little bit just on like how to
knife skills.
use the knife.
Yeah.
All right, so before put one of them away. Which hand do you shake with? Don't tell me you're ambidextrous. This is going to get confusing.
Shoot. I'll put the left knife away. The left dagger.
Okay. So. And Brun like holds out his hand. He goes, shake my hand, but with the knife in your hand. That forward motion. That forward motion, like you're going to shake my hand. Good. That's a stab. You stick it with the pointy end.
Okay.
That's the easy part. The second part is, and Brun is going to do one of his maneuvers, does a disarming strike. And just like as you're holding the knife out, Brun just kind of like hits the wrist, and just hits the top of it, and your hand kind of tingles, and the fist just kind of drops it. Now, that's when the second knife is useful. But if you can't kill him with one knife, you really can't kill him with two. All that happens is you're more likely to lose that knife, and then if you're fighting one guy, his buddy picks up your knife and stabs you with it.
And is that when I pull out the frying pan?
Lead with the frying pan.
Okay.
All right, pick it back up. Now hold on to the knife again. And don't drop it this time.
Okay.
And just practicing, like, stabbing and just practicing holding the knife in a couple of different grips and how to keep a grip on it and keep control of the knife. By the end of probably 30 minutes of this, like your hand is just a ring of welts around the wrist, and it just like you feel your heartbeat in it, and it fucking stinks.
Through all of this, Thane has been kind of settled on a piece of log, a downed tree nearby, just whittling away at a piece of wood, just chips flying pretty evenly, consistently, pretty mindless. They seem like they're processing the day's events, thinking about the interactions with the kids and the Inquisition, and it's been a long day and a half, 2 days now, since they first met you all. Duncan, you return to see Navos' knife go flying across the ground again.
Didn't widen his stance enough, did he?
It's all right now. It's all just the grip. Navos, is that
Ends with the grip, starts with the feet. Let me tell you what. I've said enough. You do your thing.
The hips enough.
Yeah, it's about leverage, but not my place. Not my monkeys, not my circus.
Navos stands at his full height. Is this enough leverage? He puts the scoliosis on hold for a moment.
Easy, Shakira. Keep the hips down.
Let me get on your shoulders again. How about this?
Farney walks back into the camp behind Duncan. We will need to move quickly again tomorrow. I would prefer that we get an early start, much earlier than noon. A little bit of a dirty look at the time that you left town. Feels like it comes all the way from this world's god. I would propose that we have shifts, watches for the night. We don't know exactly what is out here anymore. Based on the mood of those dogs earlier and the ferocity with which they attacked unprovoked, I hesitate to trust anything that was already living out here. Does anyone have a preference for when they take shift?
Or the final shift I'll take. Or
Just
get me up
before
the
dawn?
earliest.
All right.
Yes, I'll be up anyway.
Understood. I don't require much sleep. Gestures to the elven ears. I can stand watch whenever we need. We should have at least 4 shifts. So 2 could double up, or 1 could sleep the entire night through. It's up to you.
If Thane will be working on their wood, I can double up with them.
And Thane, at this point, will look up and give a nod.
I'll take the sucker shift. I'll take the one second to last.
The late night, early morning. Understood. So we will have... that puts us as Navis and Thane, Brun, or do you want Farney to go before you?
Farney first.
Farney, Brun, Duncan.
Yeah. Get the navigators as much uninterrupted sleep as they can.
Fantastic. All right, so it is 10:15 real time.
It is.
Let me go ahead and... Could all of you roll me 1d20 plus a perception?
16 plus perception.
Are we doing a d20 and then a perception check, or this is a perception check?
This is a perception check. I just
I got a
worded it
dirty 20.
stupid. Navis?
12.
Brun?
2.
Okay, and... Ooh. So, Navis and Thane both got 12s. You sit as everyone else kind of settles in for some rest. And you just wait. You watch. You listen. Thane will turn to you and look like they're about to say something, and then think better of it and quiet down again.
So,
That was messed up, Navos, right?
a lot has been messed up. Anything specific? I mean, the welts on my wrist.
The
are
Rat
pretty
Man.
Bad.
The Rat Man, Navos.
Oh,
Like,
yes. I mean, I feel like we all have our own ways. I mean, you attacked Jurgensen the second she was transforming.
she was an active threat to us and everyone around us. That guy, I don't even know if he was alive. Like, actually.
It is scary. Not an active threat, but I feel like a concerning threat in the future.
I feel like we should have just burned him. all of them.
I do agree with that. But at least we have
Did you
something
see how-
to take care of, to take a look at once we get to Kahlo.
Brunt just yanked that guy's intestines right out. And he looked comfortable doing it. I don't... where did he learn that?
I
Like,
don't have a direct answer, but there's a lot they have been through in the past. Maybe we figure it out in the future, but I think there'll be help for now.
I feel like all of us have been through a lot. And a lot of it's been the past 2 days. It's only been 2 days.
I know.
I don't think the future matters quite as much as right now.
I mean, there are times I even wonder if we have the control of the future. Pressing left palm to my head. How do you think
Would
our watch is going to go?
you mean right now?
Yes. Do you feel anything
Uh,
coming?
kind of looks around. I feel like it's going all right. I mean, we haven't fallen asleep. I don't hear anything or see anything outside of our shelter here, except for Bryn snoring again. I can feel it in my feet. I think it's fine. Do you think it's fine?
For now, but I have a feeling I can maybe see it a little bit better. And I'd like to pull out my tarot card deck.
Okay. Are you gonna read my future? I don't think you haven't done mine yet.
I'll leave it up to you. Either yours or what could happen just right now.
I think. How about mine? Ours.
Sure. As I take them out and start shuffling, Thane can see that there are a few cards that are slightly shimmering.
Oh dang, they're holographic.
Oh shit, he got foils.
It's a reverse foil.
Reverse hollow. Oh fuck.
These are ultra rare.
Let me get my reverse hollow 10 of swords.
Listen. So I actually have these like cards with all my things on them. On the back of them is just Pokemon cards, so that they have rigidity because I just printed them on paper.
Amazing.
So
Derek, what card does Thane pull?
There's too many tabs. Okay, so we got 21.
What a mood.
Let me roll. 17 will be the star. On this
The star.
glowing card, Thane can see a mage standing in a semi-dark cavern with gold littering the floor as they're pouring a potion into a sleeping dragon's mouth. And I'd like to ask you, using my augury spell, how do we feel things will be going?
So I believe augury is for like the next hour is what it covers, right? Something like that.
Let me see, I can't remember if it was
It's not like the next day. It's a limited time frame.
Mhm.
Looking at this card with that slight glint around the edges, where the card almost seems to fade in and out, just around the edge. You get the pull toward that sleeping dragon. That is the part of the card that you are drawn to. There's an emphasis there. You realize that in the back of your head, sitting behind your eye, that pressure has returned. Leaving Alrith and traveling and walking and being out, sights changing. Now that you're finally settled and paying attention, you feel it again, that pressure. The emphasis is on that sleeping dragon. But it doesn't feel malicious. It feels relatable. You feel a kinship, a sense of kinship to that sleeping dragon. Thane will look from the card to you. So what does this mean for my future? I'm gonna get rich, or control a star, or what is this?
Maybe in the future. I think for now, keep your faith. Take control of as much as you can for now. I don't know what will be coming, but as I look above, let that light guide you for as long as you can. And I'd like to tell you and the rest a story tomorrow that may help us as we travel.
And they will nod. All right. I like it. Thank you, Nevos. Sorry for earlier. I still don't trust you. But you seem like you are helping. At least Brun. And right now, so are we.
That's all right. I hope I'll get there eventually. I think there's pieces of each of you that I can learn more as well. You with Duncan, I think we can all become better if we open up a bit.
Guess we gotta get to Kalu first. It's the next step, right? Getting the boxes to Kalu.
Seems like it, and I hate to say, I am a little scared of being there. But hopefully those 24 hours that we were in Ulreth feel a little bit shorter, and we can keep moving after that.
Well, I guess for now, let's see what the rest of this watch is like. And as your couple hours pass, Navos and Thane, there's some rustling out in the trees. You're in kind of a forested area. There's some rustling that passes by, but for now, during your shift, unabated. You wake Farney up, and they go and settle at the kind of entrance area for their shift. And you settle off to sleep. Brun, your shift comes and goes. Duncan, you awake fairly early on your own and see that both Farney and Brun are sleeping still. Farney rolled a nat 1.
You probably missed a shift.
Yeah, Farney stayed asleep. They settled in and got real comfy and passed out. And never woke Brun up.
Brun also got a natural 1, so like that is
Fitting. Seeing that nobody actually woke me up, is it possible for Duncan to do kind of like a preliminary inspection outside said cave to make sure that nothing happened during those 6 or so hours that you were asleep?
You can do that.
Perfect.
Go ahead and give me an investigation.
12 plus 2 is 14.
You search around, looking for signs of any additional foot traffic or interference with your camp. You find nothing.
Perfect.
You
Okay.
find your own footprints coming back to camp, general movement around, but you can trace most of it to your own crew. There's some footprints of some kind of canine further out if you look a little bit farther into the woods, but otherwise, nothing seems to have entered your camp while everyone slept.
I'll go back, do my morning routine, brush my teeth, wax my mustache, make sure it looks nice, clean my hands, clean my face. And just as the sun is kind of rising, as the dawn kind of breaks, I think Duncan's gonna sit at the edge of the cave on his knees and just start playing to Vidar for safe travels, May we be blessed and watched in his ever watchful eyes that he has 2 of. And kind of wait for the rest of the companions to wake up.
When you pray, do you generally feel like there's a presence of Vidar?
It doesn't matter. I mean, it'd be nice, obviously. Who wouldn't want their god to be there? But it doesn't matter. Not to Duncan. If his voice is heard, it's the idea of just getting it out there. That idea of these are things on my chest that are weighing on me, and kind of through both my training, but through my faith, that I can kind of just get out there. Like as I'm saying these things, can you watch us and make sure that we're safe? I'm kind of manifesting it, reminding myself that I have to be ever vigilant, ever in the moment, ever perceptive, so that that these things can come to pass, that we can go on our travels and be safe and be in position where we feel comfortable and safe because I'm doing those things through Vidar and his guidance. But
Okay.
it's mainly still me.
The morning feels fairly peaceful as you sit and wait, offer your prayers. You hear a bit of rustling behind you as Thane starts getting up, donning their armor. They stayed pretty well covered for the evening. Their form much more feminine this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Thane. Nice to see someone else wakes up, kind of looking at Brun and Farney. But just glad to have some company. How are you feeling this morning?
We feel fine.
Good.
How are
good.
you?
Good. I was just about to start breakfast. If you maybe want to help me with that.
Of course.
And so I'm gonna kind of get the breakfast supplies together. I don't know what kind of rations we have, but I'm assuming it's like travel porridge and hardtack.
Mm-hmm. Can you make for me an insight check?
Absolutely.
I love seeing Curtis spasm over there.
That is
My heebies
So
are
you have a
jeebing over here.
that is a 15 plus 4 for a 19.
Thane is strange on the best of days. As long as you've known them, there's something weird going on here. And of course it's you that they first talked to. Because you have no frame of reference for why this is weird.
And so
When
like
the
as we're
others-
kind of Oh, you can go ahead.
I was gonna say, when the others wake up, Duncan, are you gonna mention anything to them about
No, but
Thane being weird? Okay.
before they woke up, as we're kind of getting the breakfast supplies together, I'm assuming our noise is kind of, and I'm being maybe a little extra loud, and kind of at a spite.
Mom vacuuming outside the door.
Aggressive.
Yeah, like I'm just
breakfast
vacuuming
making.
outside the cave.
Talk about a dust.
Maybe a
devil.
little bit extra loud, but it's just kind of me and Thane. Is everything okay with you today? Something seems off. I got a feeling something's off. How you feeling there, champ?
We're fine. How are you today?
I'm okay. It's just something seems off today. I see you've taken
Is
a
it the
new
weather?
form. What kind of weather is outside? A sunny day?
Today, so far, seems clear. Gentle clouds.
don't think it's the weather.
Nothing too threatening.
It's a very peaceful day. Just something about you, bud.
We prefer to travel with a face like this.
Why is that? Any particular
Anyone-
reason?
Anyone who would prefer to do harm tends to see this face as less threatening and as an easier target.
Seems counterproductive.
You misunderstand, Duncan.
I assume I do.
We
Please help me.
enjoy the cleaning up of the roads as we travel. If there are those
looking
who would
for a
do
fight.
harm to travelers, we take care of it. Shall we wake the others?
Sure.
I believe Farney
but,
said they wished to move early today. With
That is
breakfast
true.
prepared, we should probably get going.
But I would just keep in mind, sometimes there's a very fine line between cleaning up the roads and picking a fight.
Is that another of your rules, Duncan?
Not a rule, just some free advice. And I'm gonna kind of try to walk over to Brun and nudge him awake. And that doesn't
Kick
work.
him a
I'll
little bit with the heel.
put some food under his nose and see if that wakes him up.
When you push Brun, it is a.
I can play a revelry on my flute if you want.
No, when you like go to give him that nudge, he like does that like eyes snap open, and there is like whatever dream Brun was having was not pleasant. And like eyes snap around the room and looks to the sunlight, looks up at Duncan and goes, "Fuck."
Yeah. Good morning, Sleeping Beauty. And I'm gonna hand him like a bowl of porridge or whatever we have.
Nevos Thane will wake you up as well, as they are moving around a little bit, setting some food beside you. Gives you a bit of a nudge.
They can see that my eye is already open. It's up to them if they want to decide if I sleep with my eyes already open, if I'm already awake.
I, please.
I.
Yeah, you're being ableist.
Derek,
Yeah.
not you too.
You can't do that to me. You can't do that to me.
You are already awake. You can decide how well you slept.
Oh, Thane can see the darkness even on my purple skin below the eye.
Girl, please, these bags are Prada.
Bag. Just one giant handbag.
Ah,
Not even the GM. We're all complicit.
There are multiple bags under the eye, okay?
yeah, it's several.
They're stacked.
Like a double chin.
Ew. Any last anythings as the crew awakens for the day?
I don't think I think of.
I will say, Duncan, when like after that initial like panicked start, Brun like sits up and kind of ugh, and you see like the hand go up to his shoulder and like pat around, almost like trying to work out a crease, but you definitely kind of catch the feeling that like that's not how you work out a shoulder. Like Brun's like feeling for something up here, and then goes back to like kind of stretching out the rest, and then goes back to eating the porridge.
The morning calisthenics.
Yeah.
But also only the left shoulder, not the right.
Time for everybody to do some hot yoga in the cave. Duncan's
Listen,
speciality.
I was gonna say this is the Navos. When Navos is done adventuring, Navos comes back to this cave and starts a hot yoga, like hot yoga in the
Save
cave
that for the
series.
Patreon content. Anything else?
I would say Navos is going to write in his journal, and then we'll start going into the downward dog.
Very weird to see with the bend of Navos' legs, this upside down triangle position. Anything from Duncan?
No, Duncan's just eating his breakfast, watching his weirdos do weirdo things in the weirdo cave. Kind of
Welcome to
thinking
Weirdo
moderate to
Cave.
himself.
Can I take your order?
What happened? What a last 72 hours of my life.
How did it all go so wrong?
Where did it
All
all
right.
go wrong? The list goes on.
So that's where we'll end for this evening. I know we went over. I apologize for that, but I appreciate you all sticking with it. I'm glad to have discussed the downtime stuff a little bit, so I can get plowing forward on that. I think all three of you sent me information on like what you'd like to be doing during travel, which I appreciate. If you want to send me the plan for your level up, So you've already gotten your stats leveled up.
Mhm.
Hopefully, probably, maybe, if you didn't already do that. But like any feats or etc's, abilities, new spells, let me know how you'd like to be gaining those over the next X amount of time.
Okay.
Any stars, any wishes?
I mean, gold star for us for leaving Allreth. Let's be honest. Come on.
Gold
We did it,
star
boys.
all
We did it.
around.
Despite our own best efforts, we
It took us-
overcame our
It took us like 2 months to get out of there.
almost.
It was literally
almost
only
3.
2 days, a day and a half.
You know what's awful?
But we did it.
I left my
We
orb
did
in
it.
the room.
I know, and I didn't close my
We gotta
shop.
go.
I gotta
No,
go
not
back.
the orb.
Listen,
gotta
I
go.
left my dragon